Hello and welcome to the Dentrepreneur Show. Hi, this is Dr. D. Todd Russell. Welcome to Dentrepreneur. With me today is a very special guest, Dave Kittle. Dave has the Dave Kittle Show, which I've been fortunate enough to be a guest on. And thankfully, Dave Kittle has introduced me to the podcast world. So it is really an honor and a privilege to have David on the show today. Dave, welcome and thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going in your podcast world and your physical therapy business?
It's going great. Just for context, I'm a physical therapist and an entrepreneur. I own Concierge Pain Relief, home physical therapy in the New York City area. So we have physical therapists that go to our patients and clients, and started to put out this content piece called The Dave Kittle Show because I have a team where we are going to be partnering and acquiring practices in the New York and New Jersey area. That's where Todd and I originally got connected, and had him on to kind of convey the goings that you've gone through in terms of buying practices, selling your original practice. And so here we are. Now you're starting your show. Happy to be on for the ride.
And so Dave being in the physical therapy space and I'm being in the dental space, we have a lot of synergies when it comes to acquiring practices, from the culture of the practice that you're acquiring, the culture of our company, to how it is valued. And so Dave is one of my early guests as I start to show you how to exit from your practice down the road. And I like to tell you to start early. And quite frankly, that might be it's the leading question. If you were a small business owner or a dentist in this case, for our show's purposes, at what point are you starting to think about an exit? At what point in your career are you thinking about getting out?
Well, I don't know if this is going to YouTube. Does this go to video?
Oh, it goes to YouTube. It goes to YouTube too.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a YouTube channel, which don't forget at the end, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll thank you again to do that at the end.
There you go. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that maybe I'm a little bit more on the younger side. I'm 36 years old. My current practice, Concierge Pain Relief, I actually started it about 4 or 5 years ago. When I started it, I didn't have an exit strategy in mind. I never really thought, I just figured it would be kind of like my core business. It would be kind of like my lifestyle business. And many people that do a lifestyle business don't necessarily think about exiting. Plus, when I started it, this was before COVID, before the world changed. But now that I'm 36 and I'm interacting with a lot of different practice owners and I'm speaking with folks like you, I think it makes a lot of sense that no matter where you are in your business, especially if you're a young dentist, if you're a young practice owner, you should be considering or thinking about an exit strategy from the beginning. Now, if you're already in your dentistry practice, if you're already an associate or you're already a dental practice owner, it's okay if you haven't thought about it before. But if you are following Dr. Todd's show and this type of content, then this is where you start now. You start considering the possibilities. You can reach out to folks like Chris Vandeford that are brokers and advisors. You can test the market. You can just ask a lot of questions. Go on Google, go on YouTube, search for content like this. And you can hear how other people are thinking about it and considering it. You learn about the process early rather than late. You don't want to be in a tough situation later. So it's never too early. And if you're years into practice and you come across this now, today or this week is where you could start thinking about it.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the broker side, our mutual friend, Chris Vandeford. That's how we connected. He's been on my show. He's been on your show. We've done things together. It doesn't matter what age you are at to start your exit strategy or your exit planning. What Chris will tell you, when you are 70 and you want to sell tomorrow and be done on Tuesday forever, that makes for a lower valuation, makes for a more difficult transaction. If you are younger, 35, 36, you have much of your career in front of you, but at least gain the knowledge of where you're going. Sometimes you can grow too big. Would you agree with that?
Certainly could happen. I think it's more likely where the key gets turned and the solo individual closes down. I know this because of my parents' types of businesses, which is like a small tree service in New Jersey and a small direct mail marketing company. So it's more likely that it's going to be just closed and no buyer. But you're right. It also could be on the other side of things where it grows so large that a buyer like you in the mid-market, it might be out of reach.
Right. And now you're limiting your buyers, and that's what happens when it gets to be too big. It I'm not trying to say don't grow it big, but grow it big with a plan, grow it big with an exit plan. That could be parceling off little bits of it as you go along, or to get to your number and know that you're going to be limited to 5 potential buyers, and that's when you sell it. David, when it comes to buying and selling physical therapy practices, and I know you've bought and sold some of them, what are some of the key items that you see for someone to go to market? I guess so. You're the buyer. You're out there looking. What are your turn-ons, turn-offs for those practices? What things are key for you to look at?
Right off the bat would be things like their offline or online reputation. So some of the things you can just Google right away. So Google reviews, Yelp reviews from the physical therapy type of perspective, at least in the New York and New Jersey area. We're in downtown Brooklyn right now because Dr. Todd is visiting.
Yeah, great background view of Manhattan right behind us. I'll turn the camera. I don't know if there you go. Bam.
There you go. There's Manhattan right there.
Yep.
And you'll have to jump over to the YouTube. If you're listening, you jump over to YouTube to catch that view. Right. So some turnoffs originally would be we kind of know a lot of the reputation of a lot of practices in the area, and the further away from us that they are, then we don't know their reputation as well. So we'll look at Google reviews, Yelp reviews on the patient-facing side of things. Mm-hmm. We'll look at Glassdoor reviews for employee type of reviews if they exist, if they're online. There's several other things. Then kind of depends on the timeline of getting their financials and going back into it, but those are just some of the initial starting points.
Yeah. Good. Again, we're keeping this short initially, but we'll dive into these questions a little bit later. And there's actually more to come as far as the questions go. And David, I could go on and on and on. I've already been on your show. You've asked me a ton of questions. It seems like we go off on tangents all the time.
It's easy to go off. Yeah.
I went through the big question with you. I hit you with a second question here, but I'm going to end here. And I'm going to let this be the teaser that it's supposed to be, which that's kind of how you do things in this podcast world. I'm learning all about it. And everybody, you're going to see it on YouTube. You're going to hear it. And I don't really care because that's who I am. I'm going to make some mistakes. We're going to talk about that as being a dentist as well. But we also are going to have some fun. And the I don't care attitude is what makes it kind of fun. So at this point in the intro is going to be sort of over as far as this particular show goes, and tune back in because we're going to have a more detailed question and answer period with Mr. Kittle here, who's absolutely phenomenal speaker, as you can all tell. And if you are in general business, small business, even if you want to talk to him about your dental operations, please reach out to him. David, you can be reached at.
Type in LinkedIn, Dave Kittle, DAVE, or my practice website is Concierge Pain Relief.com, or you can shoot me an email at Dave, DAVE, at conciergepainrelief.com.
All right. Well, thank you again, David. And it's Dr. Todd Russell. I appreciate you joining us on Dentrepreneur. I can be reached at dtoddrussellDDS@gmail.com, dentrepreneurllc.com, and we'll be back on for the next show. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Please follow or subscribe to this show on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. If you would like further information or to meet with me one-on-one and discuss your practice, please feel free to contact me through my website, dentrepreneurllc.com. Many more exciting guests and topics are headed your way.